Happy March, everybody! Spring football is upon us between the NFL Combine, NFL teams being allowed to make roster moves, and the UFL beginning their regular season at the end of the month. March is also a great time to think about making bigger Dynasty trades now that we'll be learning more about how NFL teams want to move forward for the 2025 season. March is always a great month to buy low on players who underperformed last season. This video will be focused on one quarterback Dynasty leagues. Hi, Evan with Barely Fantasy here, and this is Top 5 Dynasty Buy Low Suggestions. Number 1. Caleb Williams, quarterback, Chicago Bears. While this sounds like a homer pick, don't leave this video just yet. Hear me out. The number 1 overall pick in 2024 had quite the underwhelming rookie season, finishing as the QB 16. He joined the Chicago Bears with Matt Eberflus as the head coach, a fucking idiot for one I might add. The team had a terrible offensive line and a terrible offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. Everybody on Eberflus' staff was incompetent and unwilling to do the basics of their jobs, such as review game film with Caleb Williams. Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus were fired during his rookie season, and Thomas Brown eventually became the de facto head coach. Brown was very obviously a fill-in coach, as the team did not rally around him. Caleb finished the season with 20 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, and took 68 sacks. The vast majority of the sacks he took were due to poor offensive line play, as well as atrocious play calling. Caleb was not used as a red zone option to score touchdowns with his feet, but he can run the football very well. He took 81 carries for 489 yards. Now that Ben Johnson is the new head coach, who was a tremendous offensive coordinator for the Lions, he brought in some real coaches to support the team. Ben Johnson is the type of head coach the McCaskey family never would have hired in the past, had it not been for Kevin Warren as the team president. The Chicago Bears are finally making the correct moves to improve this team. There is no reason Caleb Williams won't improve upon his quarterback 16 rookie season. See if you can buy him low from a disgruntled shareholder. Number 2. Odunze, wide receiver, Chicago Bears. In case it wasn't becoming obvious, I am suggesting to buy into the Chicago Bears offense for 2025. Odunze is the best Bears skill player to buy low. He was the 2024 9th overall pick in the draft, who also had an underwhelming rookie campaign thanks to the incompetence I described earlier. Odunze finished as the wide receiver 49 in PPR leagues last season. Despite the complete dysfunction of the Bears' offense, Odunze still earned 101 targets behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, which is third for total targets. Allen won't be returning to the Bears next season, and Moore will still be the Bears' top wide receiver for years to come. Caleb loves looking Odunze's way to throw him the football, and the man is expected to be in the long-term plans for the Bears at wide receiver. He earned double-digit targets 3 times during his rookie season, which were Week 3 against the Colts, Week 11 against the Packers, and Week 12 against the Vikings. See if you can also buy Odunze low from a disgruntled shareholder. He has nowhere to go but up in his sophomore season. Number 3. Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals. In your 2024 rookie drafts, Harrison was a top pick in the first round. In the 2024 NFL Draft, he was the 4th overall pick. With the high capital spent on him in Dynasty, he finished as a wide receiver 30 in PPR leagues. That's brutal for an NFL-ready stud wide receiver. Despite the rough start, Harrison played all 17 games and was treated as the number 1 wide receiver on the team with 116 targets for 885 yards. That puts him in second for targets behind tight end Trey McBride. Harrison also finished second in red zone targets with 14 versus McBride's 22. Harrison had 3 games where he reached double-digit targets, which was Week 3 against the Lions, Week 13 against the Vikings, and Week 17 against the Rams. The Arizona Cardinals are a rebuilding organization with Jonathan Gannon having completed his 2nd year with the team. Personally, I don't have much faith in this offense with Kyler Murray throwing the football, but at least he began building chemistry with Harrison. So even if the Cardinals suck again in 2025, Harrison should have a much better sophomore campaign as the franchise's top wide receiver for the foreseeable future. What could be alarming for Harrison shareholders was that he finished 5th among rookie wide receivers for total receiving yards behind Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jaguars, Malik Nabers of the Giants, Brock Bowers of the Raiders, and Ladd McConkey of the Chargers. Use this as fuel to buy him low from a disgruntled shareholder. Number 4. Sam LaPorta, tight end, Detroit Lions. LaPorta Potty was due to come down from his unbelievable rookie campaign he had with the Lions in 2023. He finished as the tight end 1 in PPR leagues back then, and finished the 2024 season as a tight end 8 in PPR leagues. More targets going to wide receivers was the main reason LaPorta saw the drop-off. In 2023, Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds were not going to outproduce Sam LaPorta. So, in 2024, the Lions added Tim Patrick to rotate in with Jamison Williams. Despite all of this, Sam LaPorta still had 20 red zone targets, which was second place behind Amon-Ra St. Brown with 34. Jamison Williams only had 13 red zone targets. LaPorta didn't have any games below 6 targets from weeks 12 through 18, but his scary lack of production from weeks 1 through 11 are sure to have a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt among a lot of shareholders. See if you can buy LaPorta low from a scared shareholder. He's the Lions' clear top tight end for the foreseeable future. Number 5. Breece Hall, running back, New York Jets. The New York Jets are a colossal mess right now. They fired Robert Saleh mid-season last year, and Aaron Rodgers stunk up the joint. The entire offense was atrocious with the Rodgers drama, demanding to have his receivers brought in at the expense of the rest of his team. Last season, Breece shareholders were panicking over Braylon Allen having an excellent start to his NFL career being the top backup running back. From weeks 5 through 18, Braylon cooled off. Breece continued to be the workhorse running back on an atrocious offense. He had 720 snaps on offense versus Braylon Allen's 283. Breece finishing as the RB16 in 2024 PPR leagues is an enormous drop-off considering he was the RB2 the year prior. Although Breece has never finished with a 1,000-yard rushing season, that's not a reason to shy away from buying him low. With former Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn as their new head coach, he brought Tanner Engstrand with him as the new offensive coordinator. Engstrand served as the Lions passing game coordinator for the 2023 and 2024 seasons. He also has experience coaching running backs and quarterbacks under Jim Harbaugh at the University of San Diego. Engstrand was also an offensive analyst for Harbaugh back in 2018 on the Michigan Wolverines, who were phenomenal at running the football. These credentials should be perfect for Breece Hall, now that the Jets are moving on from both Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Even if the Jets quarterback ends up being Tyrod Taylor, that's no big deal for Breece Lightning. Go buy him low right now if you can from a worried shareholder. Bonus player! Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, New York Jets. When I wrote the script for this video, I wasn't originally going to go beyond 5 suggestions. However, it's worth pointing out something about that 2024 Jets offense. If I told you that Garrett Wilson had his best season in the NFL on the Jets, then would you believe me? If your answer is no, then I wouldn't blame you one bit. Wilson was clearly struggling to build chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. The Rodgers drama got so bad, the Jets had to go trade for Davante Adams to make him happy. Adams stole a lot of targets from Wilson. Yet despite all of this, Garrett Wilson had season highs in several stats. He caught 101 passes from 154 targets for 1,104 receiving yards. That's 1 receiving yard better than his rookie year. He also had 7 receiving touchdowns, which matches his first 2 seasons combined. Garrett Wilson finished as the wide receiver 10 in PPR leagues, finally showing why he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league. Buying low on Garrett Wilson may be trickier because the numbers don't lie. However, there may be some shareholders who saw how the Jets treated Wilson thanks to the Rodgers drama and might be willing to part with him. Or they might think he's going to come down from the wide receiver 10 season. If you successfully buy him low, then pat yourself on the back. There you have it. These are my March 2025 Dynasty Buy Low suggestions. Please subscribe to Barely Fantasy for more fantasy football content. Keep calm and play on, my friends.